AOC tweets this out. This is her own tweet, and this is what it says. It says, U.S. sunscreens are far behind the rest of the world, and our regulations aren't necessarily making our sunscreen better or safer. But it doesn't have to be this way, everybody. This is what she put out. And I must say, I covered this before. I think it was with you, kid, but I covered this before. I must say, when I saw this, I literally thought this was AOC, like a joke sketch. I didn't think this was. Yeah. I didn't think this was real. Yeah, I didn't think this was real at all. And let me tell you why. I'm gonna play it without the sound.
We're here to talk about
that. This doesn't look like some sort of fun sketch. If you were watching this, because I was looking through my feed and I'm like, oh, AOC's putting this out. This is some kind of funny little thing some progressives are doing. I'm like, I don't want to hear this stuff until I start hearing people talk about it. I'm like, wait, this is a serious video? And then I turn on the sound. This is like 2 hours later. Then I turn on the sound. I was like, oh, wow, this is a freaking serious video. So let's listen, and then we'll play the whole video. Hopefully, I'm not going to hold our stuff to it. And then we'll try to play the whole video, and then we'll try to comment at the end.
We're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about sunscreen, specifically U.S. sunscreen, and how to fix it. Hello, everyone. This is Rep AOC, and I'm here with Charlotte Palomino.
I'm a brand owner, but also a licensed esthetician. U.S. sunscreen regulations are not necessarily making us more safe or better products.
U.S. sunscreens are far behind the rest of the world. I was in South Korea earlier this year, and it is so clear how far advanced the rest of the world is on sunscreen, and we deserve better here in the U.S.
How does the FDA regulate?
FDA is different than the rest of the world in that we regulate sunscreen as a drug.
That's the only thing you recognize the difference in Vietnam? Was that between the U.S. and us was sunscreens?
Yeah, no. She went to Korea. She went to Korea.
I'm sorry. Korea. Nothing else you would notice is going on between the U.S. and I think she said South Korea. I guess not. But let's listen some more to what she says. Where is that? Right here.
If only the people who are suffering from fires
instead of a cosmetic. It's regulated as a drug.
Say that again, Kit.
If only people who are right now suffering from the fires in California, Texas, and Hawaii had that sunscreen, they'd be doing just fine.
Exactly.
Outside Steeler fan, I stole your joke.
Standards, far more testing, far more scientific and clinical trials that are required, which is good. We want to make sure that things are safe. However, sometimes that can add a lot of bureaucratic and costs that prevent us from getting any sunscreen filters at all.
And just for context, it has been since 1999. It was the last time that we had a new sunscreen filter in the United States.
When we compare the U.S. standards to European standards in 2017, a Sloan Kettering study found that only half of U.S. sunscreens met European protection standards. Here's the thing, though. There is something that we can do about this. Congress has not been very aware of this issue, which is why there hasn't been a lot of momentum behind this issue. Truly, it's not too corny. Please contact your member of Congress, especially if your member of Congress sits on the Energy and Commerce Committee. They have jurisdiction over the FDA.
Did she ever tell any of her followers to contact the Commerce Department, to contact anybody on the climate change department about the Ukraine pollution, anything about the Nord Stream, so how, like, this also kind of could be connected, and somebody did allude to this, to the two earlier segments we did earlier. Like, is this video even an indication of the Bernie Sanders movement being over? Is this video an indication of the Justice Democrats collapsing? Go ahead. Anybody wants to chime in?
Yes, I mean, for Christ's sakes, people are starving. We've listed, again, I'm not going to list all the things that are wrong in this country, but here's AOC, her big brain moment. And again, shout out to Roger Meadows. How is it that this philanthropist or an entrepreneur knew to go to AOC and that this would be done unless AOC got a check underneath the table or something else? This comes on par with an MLM scheme or something else insidious. And what does AOC do? Hey, call your congresswoman or congressperson so you could do something about sunscreen. AOC, we don't have health care. Remember you used to tweet about that? At least you made an attempt to somewhat care. But sunscreen, folks. She's got sunscreen. Thank goodness. Jake, Kyle, thank you so much for this STD known as AOC.
It plays to me. I mean, I don't know. It plays to me like they're buddies, and they were sitting at lunch, and she was, you know what we should do? We could totally sell a lot of sunscreen if we make a video. Oh my God, would you do that for me? I would totally do that for you. You know how much sunscreen you'll sell? I'm like a famous member of Congress. Let's do it. That's how this plays to me. Like this is her gal pal, and they decided to slap together a video to move her business.
Well, one thing that's not a joke, it sounds like a joke, but Russ and I with Tusker, who co-hosted our show with us last night, we did a segment on this last night. And we just got an email a couple hours before the show started this evening from The Guardian. So a reporter from The Guardian apparently watched our take, and they're going to interview us about this video.
Oh, wow.
tomorrow
Wow.
morning. So we should be quoted in The Guardian. I doubt the article will be out tomorrow. The article has to go to print, or it has to be submitted in the afternoon, so it'll probably be out the next day. But yeah, look for us in The Guardian this week. We're going to give our first publicity quote to a major newspaper about this video here.
What did you guys say in the
shortly
video?
after
Wow,
the-
you must have said some crazy or
We
great
just
stuff in
did.
the video.
We did a comedy. I mean, my comedy bit that we worked was that it was medical misinformation because she's questioning the FDA's regulatory practices and how dare she do that.
I mean, we made a joke out of it. Tusker had like North Korean sunscreen.
Yeah,
with
that's why.
1,000
I mean, I'm flattered. I'm
SPF.
happy that the
Like,
Guardian
we worked
liked
a bit.
it and they want to interview us about it. But we really just made a joke out of it. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, look, the one serious point that we did make that Russell actually made was that, by putting the switchboard phone number up on the screen and urging the grassroots to get involved and pressure Congress, that was the kind of thing that she didn't do during the force the vote thing. And then she later accused the Republican force the vote people of causing themselves reputational harm by exerting that kind of pressure on their peers. Which was a pressure she was not willing to exert during the force the vote thing, but she's asking us to do this now for Korean sunscreen that for some reason is supposedly better than American sunscreen for reasons that she doesn't really articulate. Like, you don't even understand why we need this other sunscreen.
Right.
I mean, look, I can speak as the pastiest white boy on this panel. I've worn a lot of sunscreen in my day. It works like a charm, man. Like, sunscreen
Yeah,
works.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When I
If it
rub
ain't
that
broke,
shit
don't
on,
fix
I
it.
don't get burned.
Like you ever put it on wrong and like where it's streaked, that part is white and the other part is tan. Like clearly it works.
Oh yeah, no. When I was on vacation once on a beach, I missed the spot like right here, where my neck meets my shoulder. That spot got burned, but nowhere else. I mean,
That's
it
what I'm
works
saying.
great.
So
It's
what
terrific.
do we
It's
need
perfect
this
sunscreen.
for?
We have the best sunscreen.
We
here.
have the best. We have the best here. We don't need that North Korean sunscreen.
You guys
This
got to
is
do
a
me a favor,
this
though.
is a capitalist push. So because everybody's alluding to it. This is her friend. This is obviously because look at the way it's even done. It's done like so infomercially, not like trying to be informative to say a call to action. Come on, everybody, a call to action. This is done so infomercially, and you're specifically talking about South Korea. It gives me vibes that eventually you're gonna roll out some sort of South Korean sunscreen if you get some sort of regulation change. But think about this. Has she ever? That's true. Or answer me this question because I literally don't know. Maybe you guys know. Has she ever made a video asking her people to call to action about Medicare for All March or anything
Right. Well, that was
like
that's
that?
what we were
To
saying
show
last
up
night,
to
yeah.
a union, to show up to a strike or anything like that. Has anything?
If she
to
did,
that
we'd all
effect that
come
been
on,
done?
man. We're all we're all politics junkies in this space. If she ever had, it would have been on our show. We would
Yeah, we'd
know
have known,
about it.
Yeah. You guys also got to do me a favor too. If you're going to be interviewed by the Guardian when that happens, you got to ask if George Monbiot is still upset at Russell Brand because he views Russell Brand a threat to democracy or something like that. He says the political discourse is going to change.
Interesting.
All right,
I'll send you the article.
Yeah.
Let's finish the video, then we can move on.
Yay. However, any member of Congress can develop attention and draw attention to this issue, ask them to break through some of the regulatory barriers at the FDA and fund public research so that we can all enjoy the filters that develop out of the scientific process.
Just need to make some noise about it.
Totally. I mean, I love Korean sunscreens, but I want to buy this in the US. Why do we need to import them from all over the place?
Why? So why can't somebody in America make some money off of this? Go ahead, Kit. And I'm curious to hear Nick. I haven't heard Nick say anything about this specific topic. And then we'll close this segment.
Did you hear at the end where she's saying, like, why do we have to focus on the science? She doesn't want to listen to the science or the formula of making the sunscreens. AOC doesn't believe in science. She said that at the near end of this video.
That's what I mean. She should be deplatformed. She says deplatforming works when you spread misinformation.
Yeah, deplatforming works. AOC doesn't believe in the science. She's a hypocrite. Again,
are you pushing this fucking shady ass sunscreen on us when we have perfectly good sunscreen here? In defiance of the FDA, which is a cherished institution of tremendous integrity.
Yeonmi Park says in North Korea they do not have sunscreen. They have bug carcasses that they rub on themselves, actually.
But Nick, let's go to Nick then.
Cricket
what say you, sir, about this? Had you tweeted about this at all? I don't know if I... Yeah, no, I did show
I tweeted it while I said, I was like, is this a parody account? Because like you said, if someone did a deep fake of this, if there was one of those corny right-wing media influencers who put a wig on and pretended to be AOC and did a video like this, that would be exactly on brand for a parody and sketch on AOC. But the fact that she's seriously doing this is how you know that she's not even trying to win the left over anymore because she knows she lost the left. This is for liberal wine bombs and teenagers on social media who are not political yet. She's given up on the left. And not that she's doing this, because I think if you're a member of Congress, even if it's somewhat silly things, you can advocate for that. That's not the issue. The issue is that she's doing this instead of making videos about the Ukraine war.
Right.
Because how many people in the NATO left pretend to be stupid about the Ukraine war? How much miseducation and propaganda is there about the Ukraine war? Can you imagine if the influence of AOC, if she actually was a serious leftist and did video displaying the Maidan coup, explaining imagine AOC did video explaining who Stefan Bandera is, right? That would be something that would be useful to the left. If she did that and then she did this bullshit on the side, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, all right, she got multiple things she's working on. The problem is that she focused on this. That's the problem.
Imagine if she did a video about Ukrainian Nazis, but exactly in this style, with her and her friend being absolutely adorable and making little cute hand gestures. We're going to talk today about the Nazi history of Ukraine.
Let's have a conversation about how the media has been lying to you about Ukraine this whole time.
Yeah,
Let's talk about how Zelensky got in bed with Nazis in Ukraine. It's going to be educational. I'll be like, that's actually bad.
I'm trying to make a swastika, but it's not working.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Today in this video, we're going to cover all these Ukrainian soldiers that was caught with Nazi tattoos on them. Isn't that great? Like, those videos, we wouldn't complain, right? It may be cringe in the delivery, but
well, no, that's a good point, and I've made that point in the past. Is that like I wouldn't hold this influencer shit against her if she was doing it in addition to what she was sent there to do.
Right.
I gave her a pass on all that because I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, if the most famous member of Congress is a Democratic Socialist, that's better than the most famous member of Congress being Hakeem Jeffries, right? So like, whatever. God bless. Like, do your thing, as long as it's in supplements to what you were sent there to do. But she's doing it as a substitute for what she was sent there to do. That's the problem.